It's a truly inspiring model and certainly going to find favour on all manner of different layouts. A big hello to you, so great to see you and I hope I find you well. I'm Jenny Kirk, welcome you up here to Weir Yard. And today we're back with Rapido. It's the Rapido Roundup and there's so many great new products coming through that sometimes it's a little bit hard to keep track. But the latest ones to be reaching the shops imminently are that Wisbech Upwell Bogie Tramcar and the Not Quite Mink wagons that were announced a little while ago. Now, I'm going to talk about the Wisbech Upwell Tramcar first, because this is the one I think a lot of people have been waiting for with immense amounts of interest. It's really quite a quirky little thing, with little being the operative word, and certainly I can see it as being a really great seller even without its featuring in the Titfield Thunderbolt. But it did, and Rapido have of course done the Titfield Thunderbolt version of this, and this really is quite an eye-catching livery. Now they very kindly sent over both that Titfield Thunderbolt Bufet Car and the preserved Great Eastern Railway maroon version for us to take a good close look at, and they would have been quite a cornucopia even on their own. But not to be outdone, Rapido have also sent over the what they call the Not Quite Mink wagon. Now you might remember this as being the wagon we did a review on a little while ago, but this new batch have a whole host of different pre-grouping liveries and some private owner ones too. The idea being that if other manufacturers can release generic 4- and 6-wheel coaches to cater for that pre-grouping demand, then Rapido can do the same for goods wagons, and I'm actually all for this. Some of these railway company liveries, it's quite shocking. We have never had a ready-to-run wagon in a company livery from some of these, and they very kindly sent over the Lancashire and Yorkshire liveried gunpowder wagon. And this, to my knowledge, is the first time we've had a ready-to-run Lancashire and Yorkshire van, or, in fact, any item of goods rolling stock, even though we have had Lancashire and Yorkshire liveried locomotives available ready to run for pretty much over 30 years. It's quite hard to believe, but they're here and really well received, and I'd like to thank Rapido Trains for very kindly sending over samples of these for us to take a good close look. And just to remind you, we've got a link in the description box taking you to where you can find all of the different items featured in today's video, but do hurry because they are selling out quickly. And without further ado, let's head on over, and in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCT decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support comes from...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model OO gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com and don't miss out on your latest logo.
Don't forget as well to hit that like button and also share this video and subscribe to the channel. Ring that bell, really quite important to make sure that you're kept up to date with all the new videos. I'm actually really excited about these. The Wisbech Upwell Tramcar especially is one which I've been quite interested in the idea of since Rapido announced it. And I remember seeing it in the Titfield Thunderbolt film, and I actually thought it was a prop. I didn't actually understand as a child that that was a real coach, and certainly it's like nothing else that you've ever seen, either in real life or in model form, and it really is quite commendable that Rapido have brought this to the market. And of course it's gone through the usual Rapido refinement, so does it live up to all of that expectation, and is it a worthy legacy for the Titfield Thunderbolt film? Well, let's go and take a good close look. And of course, don't forget we've also got that Not Quite Iron Mink wagon as well. So let's see if they live up to the grade. At the moment, it does feel rather like we get a new tooled announcement from Rapido coming through pretty much every other week. It's quite an exciting time, really, as a railway modeller, and this week it's no exception. We've finally got the Wisbech Upwell Bogie Tramcar coach has finally turned up, and of course, not just the main version, they are doing this in everything from the original Great Eastern Railway livery right through to its BR Maroon livery. But of course, we get that Titfield Thunderbolt tie-in as well. And Rapido Trains have very kindly sent over both of these for us to take a good close look at. Now, these both come in some really quite substantial boxes, and it just shows what pride has been taken in these. And for a coach, in fact, for a bogie coach, that's quite a small box. I'm going to look at this one first. The Wisbech Upwell Bogie Tramcar Bufet Car from the Titfield Thunderbolt. 922003 is its catalogue number. And now the originals of these, there were two of them, built in Great Eastern Railway days, and quite a diminutive little thing, and made famous, I suppose, for being the basis of Henrietta in Thomas the Tank Engine. And this particular one was used by the production company Ealing Films for the Titfield Thunderbolt, and fitted out with a bar and all sorts.
I say, is this a normal hazard of railway travel?
And it was actually supposed to be preserved. It was even gone as far as painting up in its original Great Eastern Railway livery was restored, and then for whatever reason, a huge colossal mix-up, it got broken up. Luckily, the other example did manage to reach preservation, but it is a huge shame that this particular coach didn't. Now, we've got what appear to be two air tanks plus buffer beam detailing. There's a lot of buffer beam detailing on there. And just put them to one side, and let's get this completely out of the packaging. I can't believe just how small this is. Quite a low coach as well, and this would have predominantly worked on the Wisbech and Upwell. Oh my, does the roof come off? I am just curious. We saw this with the Toad. Don't want to strain it. And we do have a full interior, and I can see in there we do have the bar. So this is just a little bit more, I think, than just a re-livery. We've got those verandas at either end. This makes this almost a subcontinent of India looking thing. You could imagine this in the times of Indian colonial rule trundling around. It's got that kind of vibe, or Africa as well. It's a very alien looking coach to what we're probably more used to here in the UK. Now, it is on bogies, but these are some of the smallest bogies I've seen, certainly for a passenger car. We've got correctly sculpted wheels, blackened faces and treads. They are actually quite a small diameter wheel, and then we've got all of this underframe detail, and I'm not quite sure about those extra air tanks. I see now. Right, so those are to replace the cutaway ones. If you want to remove these couplings, you can then replace these with a full tank, because they are at the moment kind of cut away to allow these tension lock coupling mounts to go in place. These are fitted with slimline tension locks with self-centering mechanism, and they are quite nicely hidden away underneath there. We've got they're not sprung buffers, but they are turned metal heads, and the livery on this, very eye-catching, almost very 50s sort of a colour scheme, matching up with the film. And that really is quite exquisite, and I do like these verandas as well. So many separately applied parts there, so much going on. These are an incredibly detailed coach. I'm going to have to look up and see if we can get the roof off. In fact, I know something that will tell us. So we've got this tiny little booklet, and this is the Wisbech Upwell Tramcar's owner's manual. And we've got, it says, read this bit first. Before you remove your Wisbech Upwell Tramcar from the box, please be aware of this rather important piece of information. Oh dear. I have already removed it, but never mind. These coaches had open balconies at both ends, and in order to prevent people from falling off, they were fitted with ornate metal gates and railings. Very delicate, easily damaged. Most likely that you'll damage these parts if you're not careful. I think we've dodged a bullet there.
Oh, a duel! How very delightful!
6 four-wheel coaches initially ordered, but joined by 2 bogie coaches in 1884 when the line was extended beyond the Norfolk village of Outwell to Upwell, and pretty much some of the most unusual carriages used in Britain. Built by the Great Eastern Railway, composite number 7 was built to diagram 602 and second number 8 to diagram 603. So number 7 had a mix of first and second class, later third class, but number 8 was all second class and then subsequently third class when that was reclassified. Really quite small, only 10'2", rather squat by British standards. And after passenger services ceased on the Wisbech and Upwell, in December 31st, 1927, both vehicles were actually transferred to the Kelvedon and Tollesbury Light Railway in Essex, where they worked until that line closed in 1951. They retained their unusual longitudinal seating until the end, and that was when number 8 appeared in the Ealing comedy Titfield Thunderbolt. It says here that was when it was earmarked for preservation. It was restored. So they went as far as restoring the thing at Stafford Works due to a misunderstanding. It was then scrapped in 1957. Ooh, I bet somebody got into some serious trouble over that. Number 7 was sold after withdrawal. The body became an onion store before being rescued for preservation. So we've got a number of optional parts. It does tell us where these go fitted. Those are actually gas tanks. So let's have a look. The roof on your model is removable. Plastic tool, prying tool, a sponger. So let's take a look at this. So there should be a method to removing the roof. One moment, please. I have to say, I've had a good go at that. I really can't seem to get the roof to come free. There's a lot of detail on it. I'm bending it up so much, but those clips really do not want to let go. So I've given up. I just don't want to break it. So I will try on the other one. But certainly there is so much fine detail on that, you have to be ever so careful. Now, the main range version of the Wisbech Upwell Bogie Tramcar, they very kindly sent over the composite bar Great Eastern Railway Maroon, as preserved, number 7, catalogue number 919005. Exactly the same substantial box, and let's just get this out. It's more akin to the kind of box that you would have with a locomotive, in all honesty with you. And certainly if you're interested in a more conventional looking livery, then this is one of the ones to certainly take a look at. We've got the same extra detail parts that we talked about with the Titfield Thunderbolt one. I really do like that livery with the Great Eastern Railway Maroon. And you can see there, first class at one end. Actually, it's got the bar as well. So the bar was integral to these. And third class at the other end. The same dinky little bogies. This actually almost looks like a narrow gauge item. It's not, but certainly there is it's so small. In fact, just for comparison, I've actually got a bogie coach here. This is a Thompson, a brake third, and it's not actually a pair of these. Not actually that much bigger than one full bogie coach. And you can see they almost look like they're in TT rather than 00. They're not. They are the same gauge and are perfectly to scale. But really quite incredible. And of course, if you want the perfect accompaniment, then the Rapido J70 is the perfect locomotive to go with them. They don't look quite so small now, do they, when you match them up with the J70. Still very, very low, but I believe that Rapido will be bringing out a set with the Great Eastern Railway liveried J70 and the appropriate coach to go with it. Or you can still, I think there's maybe 2 different liveried versions of these left from Model Rail, but definitely these are well worth getting in their own right, and it's lovely that we've now got the Wisbech and Upwell coaches to go with them. I'm going to show you on this one because it's a bit easier to see the detail on those end verandas. We've got the bars over that end window, but what I really wanted to show you is those lights underneath the overhang on the verandas. We've got these actual glass domes, and I don't think it's wired up. I could be wrong, but I mean, this is it. It keeps you guessing that they're so fine. You think, well, actually, that looks like it should and probably could work. Now, I'm just going to see. The roof is very, very well on. And I honestly, with no hints or clues from the manual, I don't want to risk it. I just don't want to break these. And certainly these are potentially quite fragile. Well, I've tried long and hard to get the roof off, and I just don't have the right tool. I tried making my own from a piece of plastic, but it needs to be quite firm plastic. But Rapido Trains have put out a video on their YouTube channel which does show how to do it, but I just can't do it with the tools that I have available to me. But one of the things that I have noticed whilst I was doing that is that these patterned wheels, if you look on the back, that is really quite impressive, that these are completely bespoke to this vehicle. We've got completely correct pattern wheels. Now, the other thing that I've noticed is we've actually got etched brass full plates, and I'm just going to show you these. Just a little bit of something extra that Rapido have done is that these can fold out and then provided a walkway that the guard could use to go between coaches. So say, for example, if both of the bogie coaches were being used together, or indeed some of the four-wheel varieties that also ran on the Wisbech and Upwell tramway, this meant that the guard was able to transfer down the length of the train whilst it was in motion, and that can just be folded back on itself. And you might think, well, why would you go to those sort of lengths? And I think Rapido's comment would be because they can. We've also got a nameplate just up there. It looks like Irene, which again, a really nice personalised touch for the coach. And just take a look at that Great Eastern Railway Works plate. That is incredible detail there, all across the buffer beam. But the printing is sharp and right on the money where it needs to be. Another area that is absolutely exquisite is that Great Eastern Railway crest there, just underneath the GE7. And I can imagine that under close magnification, that is going to be absolutely magnificent. And when you look at the verandas on the ends, it's just incredible how slender they are, that they've been able to not only just mould this stuff, but get it so it has some degree of strength in its own right. All in all, these do look amazing. I do love the roof detail as well, looking down on them. And we're going to put them through their paces on the layout and see how well they perform. These coaches actually perform incredibly well, taking even really quite sharp radius 1 curves totally in their stride. I put this down to the quite short wheelbase and those really short bogies as well. They really are quite tiny. They're not that much longer than Titfield Thunderbolt and Tender. When I had the pair of them running behind the Rapido J70, that locomotive really took them in its stride, taking them up 5% gradients without any sign of slippage whatsoever. And I'd wager that we're going to see a plethora of Wisbech and Upwell inspired layouts in the near future. The detail on these looks absolutely sublime, especially when they're trundling around at a nice sedate speed, and whether you want to reenact the Titfield Thunderbolt or just have an authentic Great Eastern Railway coach for your Fens-inspired layout, then these are an absolute must. They're also perfect for all manner of freelance light railways, and I can see them being pretty popular for a whole host of different railway scenes. With a preserved example available to go and look at in real life, these are an incredibly accurate model, and Rapido have done their customary pulling out all the stops to make something that truly is quite impressive. Rapido have also very kindly sent over for review an example of their, what they call their not quite iron minks. This is the second run of these, and they've decided to offer them in various different railway company liveries to really cater for the pre-grouping modeler. And in the same way that 4- and 6-wheel coaches have been offered in generic form by other manufacturers, so Rapido decided that actually a lot of modelers might appreciate a pre-grouping generic van, shall we say. So these capture the essence of those pre-grouping designed vans and are available in a whole host of different liveries. There's a couple of private owner liveries, and in fact the Guy Fawkes one has sold out to pre-order, I've been told. It's been incredibly popular. But they're also doing Caledonian Railway, North British, Great Northern Railway, Lancashire and Yorkshire, which this example is. We've got Titfield, Barry Railway, and a number of others too. So just looking on the end here, this is catalogue number 908024, Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway Gunpowder van number 30897. And this is in a more conventional cardboard box. It's just, I've got a bit of paperwork here as well. So this shows one of the also available in blue circle cement, and a little bit of information on the back. And then we've got a list of the different liveries. So Great Northern, which is actually quite an eye-catching livery, it must be said, with those red banded stripes. Caledonian Railway, Lancashire and Yorkshire, Titfield, Barry Railway, North British, North Eastern Railway, Greaves of Harbury, Blue Circle Cement, Dunlop, and the Guy Fawkes spoof livery, Gunpowder Wagon. And never let it be said that Rapido trains don't have an amazing sense of humour. One of the things that immediately strikes me is the roof is finished in this sort of off-white cream, and I find that a much better colour than the brilliant white that we sometimes see. These wouldn't have remained clean for long, and I think that off-white cream does give a really great colour to set off the rest of the wagon. The printing on this is characteristically sharp, so you can see the L and the Y and then the gunpowder van spaced out across the central panels, and some of that other printing as well, really crisp and sharp. We've got single spoke wheels. These are very, very free running. And these vans would have had, I guess, wooden brake blocks to minimise any risk of sparking, and for that reason as well, they didn't have train brakes, just to minimise risk of random sparking happening underneath the load. Probably not a great idea with explosives. Turned metal buffers, not sprung loaded. And then we've got slimline tension locks in NEM pockets, which again very thoughtfully placed between the wheels, and some these feel like they're metal, something like etched brass. Brake levers correctly fitted. We've got a single brake block on one side, single brake block on the other. There's no connecting bar across, so effectively the handbrake on these would have only been applied from one side to effectively one axle. So not the greatest of brakes, but it would have been enough. They wouldn't have travelled all that fast, probably no faster than 25 miles an hour. And certainly the grey rendition here is superbly done. And I believe this to be the first ready-to-run Lancashire and Yorkshire item of rolling stock ever offered. We do have quite a deficit of Lancashire and Yorkshire items when you consider that a number of locomotives have been preserved We've only ever had the diminutive Pug, and it was Daypole who, way back in I think the late 80s, early 90s, offered that in Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway livery, and I'm not aware of it having been offered since. So I do have that locomotive, so this will be a welcome addition to trundle along with that. And I really do look forward to seeing more pre-grouping rolling stock. We've had the London and South Western Railway van and the London and North Western Railway van announced, and the South Eastern and Chatham Railway van, all from Rapido. So they very much are catering for the pre-grouping modeler. So we're going to give that a whirl on Weir Yard. That too was a reasonably good performer, as you would expect, and the quality of the finish is definitely second to none. Running this around, it trundled quite happily behind my Lancashire and Yorkshire Pug, although probably not the most taxing of loads. Certainly it is amazing that we finally, after probably best part of 30 years, have a ready-to-run wagon to actually match up with this livery. I do like these railway company pre-1923 liveries. They do give you a lot of opportunity to make up some trains if you're wanting to model that quite colourful pre-grouping scene. And along with Rapido's South Eastern and Chatham Railway, London and South Western Railway, and forthcoming London and North Western Railway vans, these really will add some variety to your pre-grouping rolling stock fleet. When it comes to prices, we've got an RRP of £32.95 for all of the different iron minks which are available in a whole host of different liveries, be they private owner or pre-grouping liveries for a variety of different railway companies, including Caledonian, Great Northern, Lancashire and Yorkshire, Taff Vale, Barry Railway, North British, North Eastern, Greaves of Harbury, Blue Circle, Dunlop and that Guy Fawkes, which whilst totally fictitious has outsold all of the others, and if you want one you need to pick it up the moment you see one in the shops because they are officially out of stock in a great many places. When it comes to the Wisbech Upwell Bogie Tramcar, these have an RRP of £74.95, and that's for all of the different versions. It's available in LNER livery as both 60461 and 60462, or in BR livery as E60461 or E60462, plus BR Maroon and Great Eastern Railway number 7 as preserved. And of course, the Titfield Thunderbolt Bufet Car. Where would we be without that? It's a truly inspiring model and certainly going to find favour on all manner of different layouts. We've got a link in the description box to take you to where you can find all of these models for sale now, but as I said, do hurry, they are selling out incredibly quickly, and if you haven't got a pre-order in, I would suggest you do so. They are due imminently in the shops, if indeed they aren't already there at the time that this video goes out. I'd also like to thank Rapido Models for very kindly sending some review samples of these to the channel so that we could have a good close look. I hope you really enjoyed today's video and found it informative. I'd love to hear from you in the comments section down below, and of course we've got in the description box a link to where you can find all of the different models and the livery versions that were mentioned in today's video. But do hurry, they are selling quickly on pre-order, and please hit the like button, share the video to social media and subscribe and ring the notification bell. Really important, free to do, and it makes sure that you get kept up to date with all the videos that you want to see.
How very delightful!
But until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying you take great care of yourself. Happy modelling. It's been absolutely great having your company, and until next time, take care. Bye for now. Today's video comes in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support is provided by...
This is Clark Railworks, and this is what we do. You'll know us from Ellis Clark Trains, and you'll get the same friendly expertise with us too. We've got a huge range of pre-owned model railways from all your favourite manufacturers, and maybe some you hadn't heard of before. It's the place to come for quality. We don't stock substandard models, and everything we sell is fully tested and photographed by model railway experts. No matter whether you model 00 gauge, N, HO or more, we have sought after models from all around the world with new listings added every weekday. Check out what's available now at clarkrailworks.com and don't miss out on your latest logo.
I'd like to thank everybody over on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to our Patreon heroes. Without you guys over on Patreon, we really wouldn't be able to keep making the video content that you see on this channel. And don't forget that you can also head on over to patreon.com/Jennifer Kirk and check out the different tiers of rewards. Thank you so much. You are absolute legends.